Good morning, it's Vicky, and welcome to another video. Today is Thursday, September 4th, 2025, and it's 58 degrees, I believe. Yep, 58 degrees, 94% humidity. Very foggy. Very foggy. So last night I went and met Dinger and his beautiful wife, and I'll leave Dinger's channel down below. I try to link it most of the time, but anyway, I will make sure I leave it down below. We didn't film anything. You know, he's asked about a picture, and I said no, because y'all know how I feel about pictures of me if I'm not in control. I know I need to get over it, but I just can't. Anyway, maybe one day when I'm thin, I'll get over it. But I just feel like that, and it's no reflection on anybody, but I just feel like men don't know how to angle the camera, because the camera is going to add 15 to 20 pounds to you. And y'all know how I feel about my weight. I know some of you leave me little messages thinking that you act like I don't know that I'm overweight. Well, I do. You don't need to tell me. And to the person who said I look like I had gained weight, you might need to get your eyes checked, because I've actually dropped weight. But hey, whatever. Okay, I got some notes here on Tim, and I finally picked up the comment that I wanted to talk about, and we're going to talk about those first. Okay, this was left on his video, I believe, on Tuesday, and he talks about that, you know, how he squints and how he can't see. When he was, this was when he was showing the Ford trucks. And I understand, and I'm not, please don't take that I'm defending him. All I'm saying is that when you're outside and you're trying to film, the glare may block you some. So I'll give him just a little break on that. But it's obvious he needs reading glasses. And, you know, I don't want to say that I probably don't need them at times, but most of the time I don't need them. Anyway, somebody put in here, Tim, I don't know why, with your Advantage plan, why you don't get prescription reading glasses. Are you so cheap you'll see, glasses cheap, that's what it is. You'll see like high definition Dolby Vision quality if you'll get you some glasses. And I don't understand why you don't either, but what do I know? Okay, now, this is the person that was leaving messages. He left messages on mine. I guess it's a he, might be a she. Cougar Sand. And I know some people seem to think this is Tim. I think if it's Tim, they're using AI to write the sentences, but I'm going to go ahead and read you what is in here. And this was the one that was on Atomic Sage's video. Back with the Freedom AI blasting Sarasota Tim. The guy didn't do a damn thing to you. Give him a break. Now, how does Cougar Sand know whether Tim did something to Atomic Sage? I mean, how? How does he not know? Okay, generate your own content and do something nice for once. You know, I think Sage is very nice. I mean, I've never really I don't get where these people try to think we're so mean. We're only talking about what Tim puts out there. Maybe you can post a video that's supportive for a change and puts the focus on something good in the world. It's easier to put someone down than to lift them up. And when you are done with that, crush it. Okay, whatever. I think it's very easy to lift people up. And I think if Tim took some of Sage's advice, he'd be a lot better off. I think today's video inside the RV was staged. A lot of us had speculated that he wasn't filming inside the trailer because Tammy was there. This is another comment. Suddenly he makes a point to shoot inside, panning around the rooms like he's proven something. The place looked freshly clean too, which makes it even more suspicious. If Tammy is there, then showing the inside is a way to make people doubt it. without ever addressing it directly. To me, it feels like it's an obvious attempt to throw us off. And even if I'm wrong, the timing and presentation definitely came across as calculated rather than casual. Now, as I said before, Tim has, and this is the Tim that I actually like to watch, is when he's creating a story, a plot. And the plot right now is Tammy with him or not? As I've said before, I don't mind this plot. I find it just a little bit entertaining. Now, you know, it's not the greatest plot in the world, but with Tim, what do you expect? Okay. Then someone responded, I agree. I did not think Tammy was back in the picture, but there is no way Tim would spend, and this is something else I forgot to bring up, was the movie, would spend $20+ on a movie ticket. Now, if they went to the matinee, they wouldn't have spent that much. I don't know how much movie tickets are down there. For here, the matinee is, the last time we went was like $6. But now, I know I'm in a small town. My theater is not tied to any chain, but it's an independent theater. But I still believe that even with a name brand theater, the matinees shouldn't be over $10, but I could be wrong. But knowing Tim, they went at night. And the one thing that we just noticed is that the camper looks more clean than normal, which would tell me that maybe Tammy might have been cleaning. I don't know. I'm not saying Tim can't clean, but sometimes women just get more of the details than men. Not all the time, but sometimes. Okay, let's go to what Tim put up yesterday. He's on one of his rants again and talking about his observations of the way the housing market is and, you know, the economy and blah, blah, blah. And, you know, he's trying to say in a roundabout way that he don't believe Trump can straighten out the country. And my thing is this, whether it's Trump, Biden, Kamala, whoever, they can't get everything done they need to do in a year's time or 2 years' time. I think it takes almost the full 4 years. And depending on how bad we're off, it could take a lot longer. You cannot do it overnight. Now, that's just my opinion. But I think that this is where I think when he claims he's positive, that he's coming into being negative. He's not giving the current administration time. I admit that I may have been, you know, guilty of saying some things about the former administration. But I tried not to say nothing until after they had been there about 3 years. And then I started fussing. And I'll do the same here. As I said before, I've always voted with who I think can keep us the safest. I mean, if we're not safe, it's not going to matter whether the housing market's any good or anything else. I mean, you have to keep us safe, or do what you think is best to keep us safe, or nothing else matters, in my opinion. Okay, so somebody told him he was excellent editing. Whatever. I'm sorry, I can't. I mean, I'm no editor, but he's not either. Okay. He talks about traveling, of course, and talks about that he's inspired by traveling Robert. He tries to insinuate that Robert is alone. Robert is not alone. His wife is with him. It's just he knows how to not put her in the videos. And I mean, maybe Tim's learning. But Robert don't mind spending money at a campground. Whereas Tim, I'm not going to say he won't, but if he can spend somebody else's money, that's what he's going to do. He would rather, that's why he asks for donations. So he don't want to have to spend his money. He wants to spend somebody else's. Okay, I watched a little bit of Mike, Cheap Off-Grid Living, and I know that Blind Views has already spoke about the car show he went to. I enjoy car shows, and I like seeing them on the screen or even in person. I'm trying to figure out what's laying over here. I guess it's a leaf. I don't know. I know I keep going back to it. I'll have to check it out when I get out of the car. Anyway, so he looks at the 65 Mustang, which is something I've always wanted. And he talks about the Dodge Charger and an Oldsmobile 442 and a Chevelle, which my stepdad had a 68 Chevelle, I believe. Anyway, these were all nice cars, and I enjoy nice cars. And I know Ziggy and I has done some car shows too. So, and there's all kinds of car shows. Now, we had one here a couple years ago at the racetrack, but we've not had it since. I don't know if I thought it did okay, but you know, you have to give things time. And there's a lot of car shows that are around and about. They have a cruise. You know, there's a cruising club here, and they cruise like once a month downtown, but I don't ever go. Downtown North Wilkesboro is where they cruise, where I'm talking about. And of course, the rod run, the big rod run, is in Pigeon Forge. It starts, the main days is next Thursday, Friday, Saturday, but they say they start coming, they're already starting to come in. Now, I understand there's not really anything at the convention center, that most of it will be, if there's vendors set up, they'll be set up wherever they can set up at, in fields and all that good stuff. That one to me would be just too crowded. I'm just not into it. I'm not into the ones that really crowd me. And some of you have asked about Billy. He's doing okay. He's still not 100%. Now, there's little things that, you know, I see improvement in, but he's still not, you know, as I said, 100%. And I've ordered some different food, and we'll try that. This is, you know, what the vet told me to get. Again, the vet is being very honest with me that he says I can get it other places a lot cheaper, and that's what I do, than trying to buy it from them. Because I've told him I'm not rich, that, you know, because, I mean, this could go on for years, and, you know, he's not near as bad as he was, but it's still there. I mean, I'll just put it that way. It's still there. You know, I want to get him up to at least 7 pounds, and I do think he has put on just maybe a pound. But I mean, he is being more my cat. He's purring a lot. He's, you know, gets up on the bed and makes his little biscuits, and he was not doing any of this before. You know, last night he was up on the bed, and, you know, he would come and, you know, do this mess on my back. I mean, that means I'm supposed to pet him. And he does that. He started back doing that last week before I left, and now he's back to doing it again since I'm back home. Well, last week before I left, and then this week when I'm back. So anyway, that's all I'm going to talk about today. I don't really have anything else to say. And I've been watching a lot of Carpetbagger, Yankee in the South, and Tampa J and Chris. I don't watch Chris's any more of her shopping videos because it's just too much for me. I admit that I like to hoard some things, but the Halloween stuff is just too much for me. You know, I can see one little thing, like I've got that skeleton at home, and, you know, maybe a couple little pumpkins, and, you know, maybe a decorative table. But other than that, I'm not going to get into all of the Halloween stuff. But I mean, it's like she wants to keep it year round. And I guess that's fine for her, but it's just too much for me. And I'll be honest with you, I don't know where they get all this money. I mean, I know they're probably doing fairly well on YouTube, but they got to pay for their living. He travels all the time. And I mean, most of the time he's flying. So it's just weird to me. And it's not that I'm jealous or anything. I'm just curious. Where does the money come from? Because supposedly neither one, came from money. With Carpetbagger, he's trying to go to all the state fairs. And I think he's driving now. But I think he flew out to Oregon and then rented a car and is driving now. To me, that runs into money. Do I think he gets a lot of views? At times he does, but does he really get, And I mean, maybe, like I say, maybe he's a trust fund. I think that's great for him. It's just the curiosity. And I know curiosity killed the cat. But I can't help it but be curious where their money comes from. There's just something in me when I see people spending money right and left on what I call trivial things. I don't know. I can't help but wonder. And I've seen, speaking of money, I have seen, I don't know how many people who received the Louis Vuitton stuff in PR. And I'm like, it's okay. And I mean, I'm not saying that they don't buy a lot of Louis Vuitton and deserve it. It's just that's so much money that they're passing out. So anyway, that those lipsticks didn't cost more than probably $2 a piece, if that much. I mean, Jeffree Star's documentary showed you. And the eyeshadows are pennies. You pay for the packaging. You don't pay for the eyeshadow. So, is the packaging really worth that much? No. It's not. So anyway, it's just, they're popping up in my screen on Instagram and Facebook and TikTok and then YouTube of these people who have this. Now, some of them just bought one palette and one lipstick. So they didn't spend a fortune. But then you've got some that bought every one of them. And my thing is, are they going to take it back? See, that's what ticks me off, is when they buy all of it and then they take it back. But I've not seen anybody have all the eyeshadow palettes yet. I'm sure there's somebody out there. But anyway, I got to go, y'all. Thank you so much for watching. I appreciate all of you. And again, it was so nice to meet Dinger and his wife. And if you're still watching Dinger, thanks so much for taking the time to stop in this area. Actually, he stopped in Elkin. And so we were able to meet up. So talk to y'all later. Love you. Bye.